Have you ever heard a story so strange, so unsettling, that it just sticks with you? A story that blurs the line between a missing person case and something far more mysterious. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most baffling maritime mysteries of the modern era, the case of Ambassador Thorn, a man who vanished at sea, only to continue his mission from the abyss. Our story begins with Ambassador Alistair Thorn. He was a seasoned diplomat, a man known for his sharp intellect, calm demeanor, and an uncanny ability to navigate the treacherous waters of international politics. In the spring of 2017, Thorn was assigned a delicate mission to sail to a remote, neutral island nation in the Pacific to mediate a sensitive territorial dispute. He wasn't on a luxury liner or a naval vessel. Thorn, an experienced sailor himself, opted to captain his own state-of-the-art yacht, the Diplomat's Folly. He valued his privacy and believed the solitude of the open ocean helped him think. His last known communication was a standard check-in, just as he was about to enter a vast, notoriously unpredictable stretch of ocean known to sailors as the Silent Shallows. Then, nothing. 4 days. The Diplomat's Folly was silent. When Thorn missed his scheduled arrival, a massive search and rescue operation was launched. Fleets of ships and aircraft scoured thousands of square miles of ocean. They found no wreckage, no debris, no oil slick, not even a single life raft. After 2 weeks of fruitless searching, the operation was called off. Ambassador Alistair Thorn and his yacht were officially declared lost at sea, presumed victims of a sudden and catastrophic squall. Memorials were held, flags were flown at half-mast, and the world mourned the loss of a great statesman. The case was closed, or so everyone thought. Exactly 1 month to the day after he was declared missing, a secure server at the State Department pinged. An encrypted message had arrived. The security protocols were flawless, the digital signature unmistakable. It was from Ambassador Thorn. The message itself was brief, almost clinical. It read, "Mission proceeding. Encountered unexpected navigational deviation. Now in uncharted territory. Observations to follow. Thorn, out." You can imagine the shockwaves this sent through the intelligence community. Was it a hoax? A cruel prank? But the encryption was unbreakable. It could only have come from Thorn's secure comms unit, and the message's metadata contained a location ping. When they plotted the coordinates, analysts stared in disbelief. The signal wasn't just from the middle of the ocean. It was from a depth of over 500 meters, far deeper than any yacht could possibly survive. The initial theory was a technical glitch. Maybe the yacht had sunk, and the emergency beacon was malfunctioning, sending out a pre-written message with faulty GPS data. It was the only logical explanation. But a week later, another message arrived. This one was longer, more detailed. Thorn described the local inhabitants as reticent but not hostile. He spoke of bioluminescent structures of immense scale and patterns of communication based on harmonic resonance. He was writing a diplomatic report. The coordinates that came with this transmission placed him at a depth of nearly 1,000 meters. The idea of a glitch was becoming harder and harder to believe. Panic began to set in. A clandestine task force was formed, codenamed Project Nautilus. Their sole purpose was to figure out what was happening to Ambassador Thorn. Was he alive? Was he a captive? Or was something else communicating through his equipment? The messages kept coming, once a week, like clockwork. Each report was more surreal than the last, and each one originated from a greater depth. At 2,000 meters, Thorn's report was titled Preliminary Cultural Exchange. He detailed a hierarchical society, not of fish or whales, but of beings he couldn't quite describe. He said they moved with impossible grace through the crushing pressure, their forms shifting and shimmering. He called them the Abyssal Choir because of the low, melodic sounds they used to communicate. He even claimed he was beginning to understand their language of light and sound. His tone was not one of a man in distress. It was the detached, observant tone of a diplomat doing his job. He was, for all intents and purposes, acting as humanity's first ambassador to a civilization in the deep sea. The top minds in oceanography, linguistics, and intelligence were baffled. The pressure at these depths would crush a military submarine like a tin can. The darkness is absolute. The temperature near freezing. Human survival is impossible. Yet, Thorn's reports were lucid, detailed, and consistent. He was describing a world, a society, that shouldn't exist, from a place he couldn't possibly be. At 4,000 meters, the reports became philosophical. Thorne wrote, "They have no concept of a surface. Their universe is this pressure, this dark. They perceive our world above as a mythical, uninhabitable void. In their legends, it is the Great Crush, a place where existence is squeezed into nothing. It is ironic. We believe the pressure here would crush us, and they believe the lack of pressure at the surface would do the same to them." He seemed to be going native, adopting their perspective. His role as an observer was shifting. He was becoming a participant. The task force was desperate. They sent a deep-sea submersible, the most advanced vessel of its kind, to the latest coordinates. As the sub descended into the crushing blackness, its sonar began picking up strange readings. Huge, undefined shapes moved just beyond the range of its lights. The crew heard it too, through the hull of the sub, a low, vibrating hum. A melody. The abyssal choir. As they approached the target depth, all their electronic systems suddenly failed. The last garbled message from the sub's pilot was the lights. "My God, the lights are everywhere, ... The sub was eventually recovered, its crew alive but deeply shaken, with no memory of the final hours of their dive. The data recorders were wiped clean." The final message from Ambassador Thorne came from a staggering depth of 7,000 meters, in the heart of a deep-sea trench. It was different from the others. It wasn't a report. It was a personal note, a farewell. It read, "They have invited me to join the choir. To truly understand, one must become part of the song. The pressure is no longer a barrier, but an embrace. Tell the world not to fear the deep, but to listen to its music. I have successfully opened diplomatic relations. My mission is complete." After that message, Ambassador Alistair Thorne went silent for good. No more reports, no more pings. He simply vanished into the abyss, leaving behind a legacy of questions that defy our understanding of the world. Was he a victim of some deep-sea psychosis, his mind creating a fantasy as his body succumbed to the depths? Or did he truly make first contact with a civilization hidden in the darkest corners of our own planet? The official file on Ambassador Thorne remains classified, but his story circulates in hushed tones among sailors and intelligence officers. The tale of the rogue ambassador, the man who continued his duty long after he was lost, serving as our envoy to the bottom of the world. What do you think happened? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching!